Hello viewers, try iRacing Rallycross, they said. It will be fun, they said. Let's take a look at why this mode is so hilarious, shall we? Because coming into the first corner, it's been barely seconds into this race, and we get a very impressive flip over the barrier. I think it's safe to say that this will be full of carnage. Well, actually, I should let you know that my rating is 1350, which is as low as you can possibly get on iRacing, and I have no idea how this is going to go, other than awfully. And I was about to be proven dead right as we jump into my very first ever race in Rallycross on iRacing. Let's see what this is all about then, as we head towards the first corner. Usually Rallycross is very fast and furious, and often very aggressive. I filter here into second place, as this guy carries way too much speed into the corner, drives himself immediately into the barrier, and so I'm able to take the lead of the race. However, my joys were very short-lived, because on the next lap, coming to the same corner, there's a car parked up there, as you can see. I have to avoid him. But then I make a catastrophic error of judgment going into the jump, smashing the rear end on the barrier, and finding myself in an awkward ditch down the side of the jump. Alright guys, here we go then. It was this guy who was parked here who put me off, right on the racing line. Then you have to take a poor line into here, and oh my... It's just the most stupid crash ever. I mean, yeah. Oh, it's just a clip on the rear end. So until now I've been using the SimMagic Alpha wheel. They have just sent me the Alpha Evo. Let's get it installed. And just in time for Rallycross, they sent me a load of the new Neo X wheels. And so as ever, if you want to use this equipment, it's all linked in the description. Okay guys, we are not going to press the qualify button. We're starting from the back. Let's witness the carnage firsthand. At least I thought I'd be starting at the back. However, as you can see, only 2 people set an actual time for this race, and therefore I ended up starting third. So as we pull away from the line in the VW Beetle Rallycross car, heading in towards the first corner, just minding myself here to try to not lose control completely. We go down to 4th place, so we've only lost 1, as we have 8 laps ahead of us. And I have a wall in front of me, and a car facing the wrong way as well. Go back to 3rd place, as we're just really trying to get in the groove of trying to get the rotation in the car. Obviously, driving on dirt, very different than racing on tarmac, quite clearly. We get a nice switcheroo there. Bit of contact on the way out, but we do get the position up into 2nd. And eventually, I did catch the leader. However, I was a bit hasty in my attempts here to try to get past, trying to nip up the inside before the 2nd apex. Could call that a racing incident, could call that completely my fault. We both end up spinning and going down to 2nd and 3rd. But this one, I mean, here he just kind of forgets to brake, and I don't know if I can be blamed for that one, as I give him a little sympathy nod there. Moving up to 2nd, sorry. We go for the Joker lap, right? I was in 2nd, behind the leader. I make an absolute hash of it. But coming out of the Joker lap, I end up in the lead, and I had no idea how this happened. I was very confused. And here's how. Because as we come in here, you might have spotted that the leader actually went this way, which is the pit lane. Well, there isn't really a pit lane, it's just some other road that he went down. And I don't know where he's going. So basically, here's a replay. As excuse the flashing of the screen, but basically he's meant to go to the right, where all the bright yellow signs are pointing. However, he decided, you know what, I'm gonna just go down here for no reason. So he drove back to pretty much where the start point is and lost himself the lead in somewhat a rather hilarious move. And this ultimately handed me my first ever win in iRacing Rallycross. My rating also went up. I'm trying to get this to 3 before I move out of rookies, so we've got a bit more work to do there. Look at this, guys. Race winner. Bottom split. I love how it specifies bottom split. But I am now a race winner in Rallycross. And I would now try to continue my iRacing Rallycross journey in race number 3, performing a lovely switcheroo there into the opening corner before going into the wall. This very inviting wall on the outside, smacking it very hard, doing a nice little 360. This meant I finished second in that race. Still not too bad, before witnessing this rather hilarious crash in the practice session for the next race, I then was a picture of disbelief as I was watching this highly rated player drifting around that corner, doing a much better job than what I was doing. So there's levels to this for sure. As we head into the fourth race, trying to make this 2 out of 4 wins. Let's see what we can do. The main priority for me really is trying to get through cleanly, and I'm trying to get out of rookies, trying to get my rating, my safety rating up to 3, which then gives you a promotion. And so we've got a bit of work to do, almost hitting that wall once again and letting history repeat itself. However, in this race, I was pretty comfortable. Apart from this guy, it was a back marker, could have slowed me down, kind of did a little bit, but I was able to come through to win my second race out of 4. So very pleasing record so far. And there were further improvements to my safety rating as well. So the next day I came back ready and refreshed for another session, and this time on a different circuit. This is the Daytona Rallycross track. As you can probably tell from this video, it is full of absolute carnage. And this was going to be an interesting one. Daytona, because I've raced this track, I mean the sports car circuit I've raced, as this guy goes for a spin about 2 seconds into the race. So I've raced the sports car circuit. This is the International Horseshoe on the middle of the circuit. So it's quite interesting to do it in a rallycross car and then turn off to the right to go up a massive jump for the first time in my life. So we've taken the lead of the race here. It was a lovely switcheroo. One of my top 10 switcheroos of all time, I think. Crofty went absolutely wild in the commentary box when you saw it. And all we've got to do now, as the two behind me start fighting, is just try and pull away as much as possible, open up this gap to some of these quicker players. Because I wasn't on pole position, I think there's one quicker player. However, that was not quite the case. This corner here I found really tricky, and as you see, that guy behind getting some beautiful rotation, and that's what it's all about in this rallycross car. I think on the tarmac you can kind of drive it a bit normally like a sports car, but then when you get on the dirt you really do have to slide it, get the angle so that you can drive out of the corner in a straighter line and earlier. So checking out the mirror, you can see my opponent is very much there, applying the pressure and trying to make me make a mistake. Coming into here, I was about to do that. This was definitely my nemesis, this corner. Bit of understeer. Actually, no, I was okay here, but he was definitely faster. And that's where he was gaining most of the time. So I need to certainly improve through that section of the circuit. We do, of course, have the Joker lap to take. We're not going to take it on this lap, it's just on the right-hand side there. We do, though, go incredibly deep, but that might as well have been my own version of a Joker lap because I went so deep. This track is quite interesting because the Joker lap is actually quicker than the normal lap. I don't know if that's normal in Rallycross actually. A lot of the time the Joker lap is a little bit longer. At least it was previous Rallycross circuit. But you see there, gets a much better rotation, much better angle. It's definitely gaining a couple of tenths through that section. And I'm just trying a little bit too hard here, pushing up against the barrier. And I thought, you know what, the only thing I could do really is try to disrupt him by doing the Joker lap, getting in front of him, which didn't happen, as you can see. Still remained in front. And then maybe I could just dive bomb him, lunge him or something, and hope that he kind of makes a mistake. And I went for this move. It was a shocker. Put him up on 2 wheels, and then I tried to continue. We get T-boned or pit maneuvered, and that's pretty much the end of that. As we drop down to 3rd place, and you know, I'll hold my hands up and say that was absolutely shocking behaviour from myself. I thought I'd try it, be really aggressive. The execution was 0 out of 10. It was an absolute shocker, and I should go to prison for that, really. At the end of the race, finishing 3rd, it's quite funny watching this dive bomb back, because I came from so far back, and my angle is pretty horrific at the point of contact. And then it's just an awkward bit of contact between the two of us on the way out of the corner. That ultimately ended that race in his favour. I finished 3rd in the end. He actually finished 2nd. So yeah, not ideal for either of us really. We're going to move on to this. This was quite a funny moment, the practice. This guy just driving straight into a post. And I couldn't quite help myself. Let's take a look on board here. As, yeah, just drive straight into a pole, why don't you? Hopefully that doesn't happen here at the beginning of this race. Starting in second, right in the middle of the front three. And, well, we're going to get pincered in the middle here. Managed to regain control of the car, get back to the circuit. And somehow I find myself in second still. Started second, I'm still second, with a million things happening in between. So, I mean, be my guest. We'll see the replay in a moment. But now the guy from fifth has suddenly found himself in the race lead. And we have a shot at winning our first race here at the Daytona International Rallycross circuit. Let's see if we can do it. Let's hunt this guy down. Pierre-Etienne something. Is that his name? It is. As we head in towards this is actually the final corner. It's the first corner of the race, but the start-finish line is actually here under this gantry. Because, of course, you have the sort of the whole shot section at the beginning of the race. I don't know what the name of it is, but the bit where you drive onto the actual circuit. It goes really wide there. We're definitely quicker than this guy. The race win is absolutely well and truly on here. Let's see if we can harass him and make a move happen. We're definitely within range. We can go for the dive bomb. We could go for the Joker lap. I'm going to go for the dive bomb. Late on the brakes. Up the inside we go. Parking it on the apex beautifully. That is a textbook move which they are going to talk about for decades to come. As we head into the lead of the race, trying to pull away and get some free air. Some clear air. Or some breathing room is the term I'm looking for. Third time lucky. As we now pull away, and yeah, we've definitely got a couple of tenths on this guy. Getting quicker, of course, with every race and every time we get on the circuit. As we have a back marker here. I'll go for the Joker lap here, because I was conscious that if that guy behind me went for the Joker, he could potentially get back in front of me and disrupt my race. So I thought, let's go for the Joker. And that's something I really like about Rallycross, the tactical element of it, deciding when to take the Joker lap, especially on this track where the Joker lap is quicker than the normal lap. On a lot of tracks it's slower, but yeah, it just adds another tactical element that they have to consider, and I really like that. I really enjoy that. We now have this back marker to contend with, and I was just going to send a big old dive bomb, make sure we turn in side by side just to make sure we don't get pit maneuvered. Years of ramming experience has really taught me here. Not that this guy is a rammer, but I just presume the worst in people. He's a back marker, he's miles off the pace, and so you just never know. So we take no risk, because he could have easily spun me out if we've got that wrong. As now the guy in second place there getting caught up behind him, and this is my opportunity, my prime opportunity to pull away and extend the margin, which is exactly what we do. Ultimately coming up behind another back marker here, but that is the race win. No, it's not the race win. It's about to be, because he pulls to the side very nicely, and I've never seen a back marker get out of the way that much. I think that's the new world record for getting out of the way the most by a back marker. And there it is, we win the race. Too bad it wasn't for $1 million. I mean, I wish you could win £1 million on iRacing. But here's a quick replay of the start, and to be honest, I mean, I'll be fair to say that I kind of turned right a little bit into the car on my right hand side. But if you take a look at this from this guy's angle, it's this guy in the middle who started 5th. Somehow he comes out of this situation in the lead. And yeah, a calamitous start there really for everyone involved. And that guy actually spins or flips over the barrier completely, hurtling towards the crowd in a very dangerous moment. And this guy, I mean, I don't know what's going on there, mate. That guy was right in front of you. Just decided to drive straight into him. He then almost falls off the side of the jump. So a pretty calamitous race start for that guy. But for the next race, the lights go green. Once again at the front row, but on the left-hand side this time. I'm going to try and force it around the outside. Get some big angle going and try to make something work. And I can tell you now it didn't. So I have to settle into third. And it's only going to get worse here, because we tag this guy around. Now he's facing perpendicular going up the jump, which is just not ideal at all. As you now head into this sharp corner, it's going to go from not ideal at all to even not more ideal at all. As I then get spun around, that guy gets flipped over. I mean, people are spending more times upside down than they are not upside down. And that is suboptimal for motorsport. Anyway, I'm catching up with this guy. I find myself somehow in 4th. Probably because everyone else has crashed. Or a lot of other people else have crashed. And there's a chance of getting back on the podium, which would be something of a minor miracle, given our status on lap 1. We've definitely got the pace advantage, smacking into the back of him on the landing of the jump. I go for the dive bomb, almost tip him round, and I decide, you know what, okay, let's not murder anyone else today. Let's just finish the race. And I do so in 4th position. Not before this guy tries to take me out before, or after, sorry, the finish. Now let's take a look at the replay here. This was a nice little attempt around the outside. I think it was the right thing to try, just didn't quite execute it in exactly the way I would have liked. And then this contact here, a little bit awkward, as you both get pinched in on the apex. And somehow he keeps going, luckily enough. But then it's about to end poorly for me here, as this guy just taps the rear end, pit maneuvered once again. We're facing the wrong way, he flips over, everyone dies. So my rating now, 2.91. We only need 0.09 more to get to 3 and to get out of the rookie rating. So on the top left of the screen you see I'm red, meaning I'm a rookie. So hopefully we can get to Class D if we have a good result here. So I'm going to guide you through my qualifying, because this was a really good performance for me, I would say, in terms of pure pace. And this is the beginning of the lap, over the jump. Obviously just trying to hit the jump straight. Once you're in the air, you can't really steer. Unless it's Burnout 3 takedown, where you can. But this isn't Burnout 3, this is iRacing. So you need to line yourself up nice and straight, coming off the jump, to make sure you land in the right place. Just one more big corner left to go on the lap. But we do have 2 laps. As we go nicely into the corner, getting that rotation. Maybe a bit too much rotation. No, I think that was quite a good corner. Let's see if we can improve upon this lap, which was a 36.7 if you look top left of the screen. We have lots of time to be gained here, and that was my weakest corner for sure. And you see there, immediately gained 4 tenths because I got the rotation down a lot better on this attempt. And so we just need to bring it home now through one more corner, and then we've got a really solid qualifying lap. I mean, the really fast guys are getting in the 35s and 34s, maybe even faster. But me as a mere mortal, trying to get a low 36 here, and we do exactly that, moving into pole position with a 36.0 up against a 2.5k rated and a 3.2k rated player. Now that might be quite low by sports car or Formula standards in terms of iRacing, but on dirt racing, 2 or 3k is actually quite high. So these guys are fast, quite clearly, because they've gone straight into the lead, and I've made an absolute hash of the launch. And I've just surrendered instantly my pole position, now settling back into 2nd. But can we harass this guy, keep with him? I mean, based on the qualifying performance, I've got the pace, so I shouldn't be worried too much. As he takes a horrific line. I mean, that was me about 10 minutes ago, taking an awful line. Now this guy has to settle in behind me with my orange Jägermeister-sponsored VW Beetle. Let's try and pull away, see if we can do it. I mean, I'm just assuming the high-rated players, I mean the 3.2k guy has gone down to 6th place, so obviously he's had a bad start. Behind me here is the 2.5k rated player. I'm presuming he had bad qualifying, didn't quite get the lap he wanted, but actually has more pace than his qualifying shows. And I'm about to do what he did on the last lap, just go horrifically wide into this corner. He nips underneath and takes the lead of the race. Good battling between the two of us. We leave each other space, and we can continue. I'm deciding again what to do here. Do we go for the Joker lap, or do we just go for a move on track? Of course we're going to go for the move on the track. Stick with it. Got the inside. Park it on the apex. Really park the bus like prime Jose Mourinho. Nothing he could do. He was trying the old switcheroo. Access denied. by the big parking. Now we're going to really try and sort this corner out. He goes for a massive move, and crimes against motorsport were committed. In fact, he actually slows down to let me go. So fair racing, I suppose, in the end. And good battling. The guy in third now is quite close. We're within a second, first, second, third. I decide, you know what? I'm at risk here of being passed if one of those two goes for the Joker. So I do it myself. And just open up the gap, give myself a bit of clear air to try to operate. But now it's super important that I set some quick laps to try to beat these guys before they do their Joker. Now luckily enough, they were too busy taking this awful line through here, fighting with each other, and the higher rated player goes down a position, and that was good news for me. They were fighting a bit too much. The gap opened up to over 3 seconds, and that's just how this mode seems to operate. You can just really lose a lot of time very quickly if you're fighting and not driving on the optimal line. And so this turned into just a prime vintage Super GT performance, really. What more can I say? Getting pole position quite convincingly. Even though this guy was hunting me down after doing his Joker lap, I really kept my composure. I felt really comfortable, I must say. I mean, I love the Cinemagic wheel I'm using. It feels really good. Having a rounded wheel does definitely pay dividends, I think, for Rallycross, where you want to be turning the wheel and feeding it through a lot, as opposed to, let's say, a Formula wheel. You definitely don't want to be using a Formula wheel for this. Eventually, though, we win. Fantastic victory. Get in there, Lewis. I'm 2.99. Seriously. Gonna have to do one more race. And by this time, it was 1:15 in the morning. I was getting very tired. We're going back to Charlotte. And I was praying it would be enough to get out of rookies. Guys, Cillian Murphy is in this lobby. Don't know what's going on. And now there's a 10k iRacing player. What chance do I have? Probably not much, because 10k iRacing, I mean, in all of iRacing, that's very high. In sports car racing, let's say. Let alone in Rallycross, where that's incredibly high. Now, with this race, you know, I was just trying to finish, really. I only need 0.01 more safety rating to become not a rookie. However, there was a displeasing circularity to this video, because I did this exact mistake on the very first race and ended up on the side of this very ditch, this exact same one. So I tried to escape. I did, kind of half destroying my car in the process, but I was determined to not retire because I just needed to finish and then I could go to bed. We got some damage, but I didn't really care. The car handled like that. It didn't really handle. Ultimately, I did come round to finish the race and thankfully get promoted out of rookies. Not before this guy smashed into me. And there it is. I am no longer a rookie. Get in there, Lewis. I am no longer a complete noob. Should I make another Rallycross video? Let me know. See you next time.